Fans scream as BTS's Jungkook plays horror game for 6 hours. His reaction will haunt you forever. Face screaming in fear, Purple Heart for 6 hours straight. Millions of fans around the world held their breath as BTS's Jungkook plunged into the terrifying world of Poppy Playtime, and what followed was a mix of chaos, laughter, and raw emotion that no one saw coming. The live stream, meant to celebrate the second anniversary of his solo album Golden, turned into one of the most talked about moments in recent K-pop history. What began as a playful fan event evolved into something deeper, a rare window into Jungkook's vulnerability, his fears, his humor, and even the pain that shaped the man behind the global superstar title. It all started when Jungkook, dressed in a simple white t-shirt, hair tied back casually, sat before his computer with that mischievous grin fans know too well. "Let's play something scary," he said with a laugh that instantly sent shivers down everyone's spine. Not because of the game, but because they knew it was coming. Jungkook's fear reactions have become legendary over the years. His expressive face, dramatic jumps, and spontaneous laughter make him the perfect, unwilling victim of horror. But Poppy Playtime was different. This wasn't just any casual gaming session. It became an emotional experience that mirrored his own journey from fear to triumph, from loneliness to connection. As the first monster appeared on screen, Jungkook screamed, clutching his mic and muttering, "I hate this. I hate this. Why did I choose this?" The chat exploded instantly. Millions of "haraha, our baby is scared," and "protect him" messages flooded in. Yet beneath the laughter, fans couldn't help but feel affection and admiration. Here was Jungkook, the world's most handsome and talented idol, one of the biggest names in music, screaming at virtual monsters like an ordinary young man. It was that contrast between perfection and humanity that made every second irresistible. And then, something unexpected happened. During a calm moment between jump scares, Jungkook began to talk. Not about the game, not about the album, but about himself. His voice softened as the eerie game music faded into the background. "When I was younger," he began, pausing for a moment, "I wanted to sing so badly. But people around me, they didn't understand. They laughed at me. Some even said I'd never make it." The chat froze. The fans went silent. For a moment, Poppy Playtime became irrelevant. Jungkook wasn't a superstar on screen anymore. He was a boy again, recalling the days before fame, before BTS, before the world knew his name. He continued, almost whispering, "I was just a kid who loved to sing. But I didn't have many friends. Sometimes people would call me names. Sometimes they'd avoid me. I didn't know how to deal with it back then." The comment section filled with purple hearts and supportive messages. "We love you, Jungkook. You made it. We're proud of you." And in that moment, it felt like the entire world of ARMYs reached out through their screens to embrace him. The confession hit hard because it revealed what so many had suspected but never heard directly. Behind Jungkook's perfection lies a story of pain and isolation. It was this very loneliness that drove him to music, to the stage, to become the performer who now commands stadiums of 60,000 fans singing his lyrics in unison. The same boy who was once mocked for dreaming too big had become the voice of a generation that refuses to give up on their own dreams. Then, as if on cue, Poppy Playtime hit its most terrifying sequence, a jump scare that made Jungkook leap from his chair and scream so loudly that even the camera shook. The moment sent the fandom into absolute chaos. Jungkook screamed louder than the monster. One fan tweeted, while another joked, "We all got a heart attack together." But even through his fear, he was smiling again, laughing, clutching his chest, saying, "I can't do this. My heart can't take it." His natural humor and expressive reactions became a source of collective joy. Each frightened gasp or wide-eyed stare was instantly clipped and shared across social media, with fans turning them into memes, GIFs, and edits within minutes. Jungkook trended globally on X, formerly Twitter, under multiple tags. #JungkookLive, #PoppyPlaytimeWithJK, #ScaredBabyKookie, and #GoldenAnniversaryLive. But the most touching part came near the end of the stream. As the game reached its climax and Jungkook's energy began to wane, he leaned back in his chair, face illuminated by the dim blue light of the screen.
For a long moment, he said nothing.
Then he whispered something fans would remember forever. "You know, it's strange. I used to be scared of being alone. Now, even when I'm alone, I don't feel lonely anymore. Because I know you're there." The chat went wild. People were crying, laughing, typing messages in every language. It wasn't just a gaming moment anymore. It was emotional catharsis. Jungkook wasn't playing for entertainment. He was opening his heart in real time, blending fear and warmth, laughter and confession, in a way that only he could. This live stream also arrived at a critical moment in BTS's timeline. Though the group has been on hiatus since 2022 to complete their military service, their influence has not faded for a single day. With all 7 members expected to reunite by mid-2025, the world has been holding its breath for their return. Jungkook's stream, therefore, felt symbolic, a reminder that even in their absence, BTS continues to bridge distances, maintain connection, and rewrite the rules of fandom culture. In fact, just hours before the live stream, it was announced that Jungkook had ranked number 4 in the top 100 most handsome faces of K-pop 2025, proving once again that his charm remains unmatched. The result placed him among legends, with BTS members continuing to dominate global recognition charts despite their hiatus. Even as new groups emerge, BTS's cultural dominance remains unshaken, a testament to the devotion of armies worldwide. Interestingly, the rankings also revealed a newcomer, jeon from HOF, debuting at number 3, marking the rise of a fresh generation of idols. Yet, the contrast couldn't be more striking. While rookies fight for recognition through strategic marketing and aggressive promotions, Jungkook simply sat in front of a screen, laughed, screamed, told his truth, and in doing so, reminded the world why BTS remains untouchable. HOF's emergence might signal a new chapter for K-pop, but Jungkook's 6-hour gaming stream was a reminder that authenticity still reigns supreme. No performance, no choreography, no stage lights, just a man, a game, and a heart laid bare for millions to see. That's what makes Jungkook extraordinary. At one point, when fans begged him to sing, Jungkook laughed nervously but gave in, softly humming "Still With You." The haunting melody filled the quiet, mingling with the eerie game sounds, creating a surreal juxtaposition of fear and beauty. Many fans later described that moment as magical, healing, and painfully beautiful. It was as if Jungkook was saying, "Even in fear, I can still sing." This live stream wasn't just entertainment, it was performance art. It was an unfiltered look into the humanity of an idol who has grown up under the brightest spotlight imaginable and somehow managed to remain humble, funny, and endlessly relatable. By the time Jungkook ended the stream, it was nearly dawn in Seoul. His eyes were tired, his voice soft. "It's late," he said, "but I'm happy we could spend this time together. Thank you for being with me, even when I scream like a baby." He laughed one last time, waving goodbye before the screen went black. But the silence that followed wasn't empty. It was full of warmth, nostalgia, and unspoken love. In the hours that followed, clips of the live dominated the internet. News outlets from Seoul to Los Angeles covered it as if it were a major concert event. The phrase, "his reaction will haunt you forever," wasn't an exaggeration. It was literal. The image of Jungkook's shocked expression, his playful laughter, and his raw confession echoed across millions of hearts. And somewhere in those 6 hours of horror, humor, and honesty, Jungkook reminded the world why he isn't just a pop idol, he's a phenomenon. He's the boy who turned fear into art, pain into purpose, and solitude into connection. Because in the end, that's the magic of Jungkook. Even in the darkest parts of a horror game, he manages to make the world feel just a little brighter. Purple Heart when the clock struck midnight and Jungkook's Weverse livestream hit the 6-hour mark. No one expected what would happen next. It wasn't just another gaming stream. It wasn't just Jungkook laughing, singing, and teasing fans as he played Poppy Playtime. It was something else, something that left fans trembling, screaming, and even crying. Because in between the laughter and fear, Jungkook revealed something so deeply personal, so brutally honest, that even the chat froze, Armies had joined the live stream expecting chaos, jump scares, and Jungkook's golden reactions. But what they got instead was a glimpse into the most hidden corners of his heart. The pain behind the fame, the tears behind the smile, the memories that shaped him into the man he is today. And once he started speaking, there was no going back. The stream began innocently enough. Jungkook was wearing a simple white hoodie, his hair messy, his voice still raspy from laughter. "You guys know I'm bad at horror games," he said, eyes wide as the eerie music of Poppy Playtime filled the air. "But let's do it." For ARMY. The chat exploded. Millions of comments poured in within seconds, hearts, emojis, and encouragement flying across the screen. Jungkook fighting. "You got this, baby. Don't scream too loud." But no one knew what they were about to witness. How this simple stream would become one of the most emotional nights in BTS history. For the first hour, Jungkook laughed, jumped, screamed, and even fell off his chair when a monster from Poppy Playtime chased him down a hallway. His face, contorted with terror and laughter, became an instant meme across social media. His voice cracked in fear. His eyes widened and his shoulders shook. Fans couldn't stop replaying his reactions. "This is the best thing ever," one ARMY tweeted. "Jungkook's scared face is my new wallpaper." But as the hours went on, something changed. The laughter softened. The screen dimmed. Jungkook's voice grew quieter. And somewhere between the 4th and 5th hour, after a particularly tense chase scene, he paused the game. Silence filled the live stream. Then he said it. "Do you know why I started singing?" The chat went still. Jungkook looked away from a screen, his hand resting on his chin, eyes distant. "I don't think I've ever told you this properly," he said, his tone uncharacteristically calm. "When I was younger, I used to get bullied. Not because of something I did wrong, just because I was different." Armies stopped breathing. The boy who stood fearless before millions, who sang at the Grammy stage, who had conquered charts across continents, was now talking about his past with a vulnerability no one had ever seen before. "I used to walk to school with my headphones on," Jungkook continued, his voice barely above a whisper. "I didn't talk much. I didn't fit in. Some people made fun of my voice, said I'd never make it. There were days I didn't want to go back." He smiled, but it wasn't the bright, carefree smile fans were used to. It was faint, bittersweet. "But I had a dream. I wanted to sing. That's what saved me. Every time I felt small, I sang louder. Every time I was ignored, I practiced harder. Maybe I wanted to prove something, or maybe I just wanted to feel alive." Armies flooded the chat with hearts and messages of love. Some cried. Some typed, "We're so proud of you, Jungkook." Others simply wrote, "Thank you for staying." Then Jungkook laughed softly. "I didn't think I'd ever talk about this," he said, brushing his hair back. "But tonight feels different. Maybe this game made me too emotional." He wasn't wrong. The game, the darkness, the intimacy of the stream, it all felt like a confession wrapped in pixels. The boy who once hid behind a dream was now a man revealing the scars that came with it. Then something even stranger happened. Jungkook stood up, stretched, and looked off camera. Wait," he said with a grin. "Someone's calling me." Fans assumed it was a staff member. But when he came back, his expression had changed. His smile was smaller. "I just talked to one of the members," he said casually, then paused. "Guess who?" The chat exploded. "Jimin? Taehyung?" Jungkook smirked. "You'll never guess. It was taehyung. He told me to stop screaming so much or the neighbors will call the police." Fans laughed. The tension broke. But that wasn't the end of the surprise. An hour later, as the game's finale neared, Jungkook suddenly began humming softly, a melody that armies immediately recognized. It was "Still With You." That same song, first shared for free on SoundCloud, had become one of the most beloved tracks in BTS history. A song about longing, time, and devotion. Jungkook sang it now, between gasps of fear, as though he were serenading the night itself. Then came the whisper. It wasn't loud enough for everyone to catch, but for those wearing headphones, it was unmistakable. Between the lyrics, he said, "I miss you guys, and I miss them too." He didn't have to explain. Them. Everyone knew who he meant. The other BTS members, all currently serving in the military, separated but never truly apart. Jungkook's eyes glistened as he smiled softly, like he was holding back tears. "It's been strange," he admitted. "Playing games alone, singing alone, it feels different. But I know we'll be together again soon. I believe that." His words ignited hope across the fandom. #WeMissYouBTS began trending worldwide within minutes. Thousands of fans flooded social media with messages of love, sharing screenshots of Jungkook's stream. Some wrote essays about how his honesty gave them strength. Others said his story about bullying made them cry because they'd felt the same way.